Intro. Welcome back to Worldwide Reds, a global Manchester United podcast. Tonight, we're breaking down all the latest developments ahead of the big clash at Old Trafford as Manchester United host Sunderland. From squad news to stadium updates and some brutal truths from Wayne Rooney, we've got it all. Welcome, Elliot. Welcome, Safwan, all the way from KL Mancunian Red Devils, Malaysia. Happy to have you on, buddy. Welcome to Worldwide Reds. How you been, buddy?
Thanks, Adam. Thank you so much, Adam. Thanks, Elliot. Thanks for having me on this podcast. Is a great pleasure and a great honor to be together with you. That's online. You know, especially Adam. I met Adam last month. I went down to his cave. It was just magnificent. I was just lost of words when I went in. So yeah, Adam, thank you so much for having me to be online today. It's an honor.
No, anytime, mate. Anytime. You are welcome. And anyone from your supporters club is welcome to come on because they treated me like I was one of their own. So anytime you just want to come on, just come on. Elliot, how you been, buddy? How was your day at work? I know you always look forward to these. So
Mate, I get a bit more and more nervous on a Friday now coming on, and I think pod's starting to get a bit of traction, and a few of my mates are jumping on, and I'm getting a lot of shit dealt with me at work around sort of how the team's performing and stuff like that. But you still love that Friday. Work's finished. It's a great weekend of sport. We've got United at home against Sunderland. First time we've played them in a long time, and obviously I'm excited for the NRL Grand Final on Sunday night as well because I'm a big Broncos fan too. So pretty keen for a good weekend of sport and a long weekend here in Australia. So we've got a bank holiday on Monday too. So that's always a plus. No work Monday.
yeah, well, some of us will keep the country going anyway.
Yeah, you got to pay for your bad habits, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, mate. Let's get into it. So before we dive into the game, I want to talk a couple of things that have come up during the week or over probably the past couple of weeks. The first one I want to touch on is stadium and ownership updates. I don't know if both of you boys have kept up to date with that, but I thought I'd go searching on it today and have a little bit of a look today, and it seems to be. I think it's up in the air. I'm starting to think to myself, it was a bit of a promo of the last stadium. Now they've gone in to get another stadium, and I think they're just trying to keep the fans on the quiet side. There's some big changes at Old Trafford with the canopy and everything like that. And there's Freightliner, who are the owners of the land around Old Trafford. There's a big dispute going on with them at the moment as well because they want 400 million for it, and the Glazers and Enios only want to give 350 million. So, I think this thing's going to go on and on and on for a long time.
Yeah, I actually thought that the ground was going to get built somewhere else. I mean, I've not read up on this like too much, but I thought the ground was looking to get built somewhere else from what I was reading. But are they looking to actually like renovate the current stadium? Is that what they're looking to now do?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they're looking to do now. So originally the new stadium was going to go out to the side where the Jimmy Murphy statue is, out to that side where you can go and get your tickets if you wanted the printed tickets and everything, ticketing. I think that's where the new stadium was going to be, around there.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it, the funding for the project still remains unclear as well, which is not really good as well. So because they at the end of the day, they're basically building a new district around that area, so which would be unbelievable. But I tell you what, they've got to get their funds into gear real quick if they're going to start doing that, because I think it was 2031 they were hoping to have it finished by. Was that right? I think I read. Yeah. And that's not too far away, that's for sure.
20, okay. 6 years.
Yeah, six
Yeah.
years
My other
to build a whole district.
my other concern is I guess not concern, but I guess I'm interested to see what happens. Is there'll be sponsorships probably involved in funding the build of the new stadium. Is it going to be, I don't know, called something different? Or with a sponsorship name, Old Trafford or something in front of it, like you've got Brentford I didn't even know the Brentford Stadium was called the G-Tech Stadium, but obviously that's a sponsorship deal. You've got Arsenal Stadium is now called the Emirates, for their sponsorship deal. I'm obviously, if it's going to get it will likely get funded because I don't know where the money's coming from otherwise, because we're not really good in that department at the moment. Yeah, the stadium name too that's such a historic name. That's going to cause some controversy down the track.
So, but to be honest with you, I mean, building a new stadium. At first, when Sir Ratcliffe, Jim Ratcliffe came up with that idea of having a new stadium, as a supporter, I kind of like agree to disagree on having a new stadium, because I don't know that that's among, if you look at all the stadiums that we have in the UK, that uh, all the big stadiums, like you can look at St James Park, they didn't have any ideas to change it to another place. They had ownership changes and so on. But for Old Trafford, I mean, it's all about refurbishment work. So I think that, like you were saying, that we are not good in financially currently. I agree with you with that, because money is like flowing like water. We say in Asia here, you just flow, and then without them knowing that funds actually can be used to refurbish, to repair back Old Trafford, because Old Trafford has this, this nostalgic, this historic uh, feeling of it. So, and because back here in Malaysia, one of the club that I support here, recently they had demolished the stadium, wiped out. They're going to rebuild back a new stadium, but is in the same location, and they're going to have a design which is, I would say, 80% similar to what they had previously, but with an upgrade of the system, the feel, and so on. So for me, Old Trafford, to build a new one, yeah, I know you're gonna talk about it's gonna gain revenue in the future, but I don't think it's the right time to build a new stadium now. I think the money should be spent properly on the development, because I think we are known as a club that produces good academy players in the past, since Ferguson's days. That, but where are all our academy players coming going now? I don't really see them breaking through to the first team. If they come in, and then that's it, you're in other clubs. So I think money should be spent wisely, instead of building a new stadium for the next 5 6 years. I think they should concentrate more onto the building up the new players, the academy players. I mean, which is good that after Cristiano did an issue about the training ground in Carrington. Yep, now they have already started to refurbish, and then had the new facilities there, which is a good sign of it. Which I think we should have more of the legends, the old players, to voice out, instead of having a new stadium that's big deal with what we have now. You know, I I I I, I don't know. I still disagree on having a new stadium for now. I think Old Trafford should remain as Old Trafford, and refurbished to make it brand new.
You look at the stadium that Everton have just built as well,
Mhm.
and I guess sort of the lead up to you know that stadium being complete and stuff like that, and the sort of financial, I guess, sort of turmoil that they were in over the last sort of couple of years. They were very concerned that things were going to fall over if Everton got relegated, and they nearly did.
Mhm.
So you can see what building a new stadium can financially do to a club, especially with someone, I guess, like us, or even though our revenue stream is quite favourable, our overheads, vastly outweigh that from the last sort of, I guess, report that was released on that. So I think, it is a bit concerning, but yeah, I guess time will tell. I think we got
Look,
to worry about the football being played on the field first.
for mine, I would like to see him just, you know, develop that area around Old Trafford. I agree. I love the old stadium. I love all that. It's fantastic, the nostalgia and everything like that. But I would love to see them develop around the stadium. I'd love to see, I mean, there's plazas just in the back there and stuff like that, but it's a fair walk from there. But I mean, I don't live there, but I think the population around that area would like to see that. They got the old factories there and stuff like that, and it can get like messy around that area. Like it's not like it's clean or anything like that. I think with a new development around there would be fantastic for the club and for the area especially. But you know what? Going into that, talking about the money situation, and everything like that. Manchester. Did you see the article on Manchester United having mid-season friendlies in Saudi Arabia and things like that? Because we don't have Champions League and Europa League. Get some midweek friendlies. I mean, that would bring in the money. That's the Worldwide Reds would probably be on that tour.
Well,
and it's not the first time United's done it. Let's get that straight. So,
but the friendlies are going to get paid over in Saudi. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Yeah, and it's going to be big money. So whatever money they've lost from Champions League and Europa, or let's just say through Europe, they certainly will make the money up playing friendlies over in Saudi Arabia. Maybe a game against Al Nassr. Yeah,
I think just some consistent football is only gonna help performances on the weekend. Sometimes, we're not going to play midweek until Christmas time now. Really, when the busy fixture, I guess, sort of period happens, and then because we're out of any cup competition now, and the FA Cup doesn't really sort of kick off until mid to then January. I think to be able to put performances on the field, it's all well and good doing practicing and doing drills and and possession based training and things like that. You need to be playing a bit more regularly week on week than just on the weekend when you're playing professional football, in my opinion.
I've just got Tom up here. Tom's come up. He's best of luck to his mother too. She's just in hospital at the moment. So Tom, I wish her all the best and from the podcast and everyone like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope everything goes well for your mother. Tom's written, "Evening, boys. I remember 2009 we went to Saudi midweek for a friendly from memory, Welbeck's debut." Yes, I do remember that. And I think Welbeck got absolutely towed up by Fergie in that game. I think it was a penalty or something like that. Fergie wasn't happy with him. He missed the pen or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. I think I may have that debut program or ticket. I may have that. I think I may have that ticket from that game. Yeah.
You should know these things, mate.
I think I only recently got it. Yeah. Yeah. Miss Penn. There you go. Yoni said the Miss Penn. I heard about that today too. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I think I got the ticket because when I was putting it into my spreadsheet and everything like that, I read all about the game. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the game ahead versus who we got this weekend, Sunderland. So, mate, how are we feeling, boys? Are we confident going into this game? Do we know how we're all feeling? Are we excited? Mate, I got to tell you, I have no idea how we're turning up for this game. We're at Old Trafford. We have been playing all right there. So I'll leave it to you guys to give me your feelings, and then we'll go into Elliot's team that he favors.
I think Adam, this Sunderland team looks quite excited and up for any game, really. Since the start of the season. I saw a stat online. I think it's the best start from a relegated team since Rovers in like 96 or something like that. So they're unbeaten in 5. They've been extremely shrewd and quick with their business. They've not, they've probably done a bit more business than probably any, I guess sort of any other relegated side that we've seen in the past, with the exception of Forest a couple of seasons ago. And I guess the one signing that I really like for them is Granit Xhaka in the middle of the park. Just someone with Premier League experience. They've given him the captain armband straight away. That's the type of captain that, I guess that I would like to see in our side at the moment. Just his attitude and his leadership, leads by his actions. And I think, that Sunderland team, I tipped them to stay up before the season started, but I think as proof in the pudding now, they just look like a really good outfit. And I think that they're only going to grow and get better. And it's games like Man United at Old Trafford that they're going to be well up for and confident for themselves, in my opinion. You're never confident going into a game as a United fan these days, mate.
I agree with you, Elliot. I mean, especially the last game we had, it was disastrous. I tell you, seriously. And moving forward against Sunderland, a team which I was, I think I did mention to Adam previously. That's where I studied before, which I was indirectly asked to support. But actually, I said no. I'm United forever. I'm not going to be with the Black Cats. So, but to be honest with you, I think a lot of the public fans, excuse me for excuse me. So they were saying that Sunderland, are the team that's going to go down, but they are now becoming like a dark horse coming up from nowhere, and they are staying in the top five currently. And like what you said, I think they're going to be like a new Nottingham Forest for the season. They're going to be challenging up there in the top six if they're going to maintain how they're going to play. And going into this game, to be honest with you, I've been feeling nervous almost every game that United plays nowadays. It's never like against Sunderland, it's an easy game. It is not an easy game anymore. Excuse me. So if United wants to go on with this game to win, for me personally, they have to go up, not gear 1 or 2, straight away to gear 5, get the goals first, the first 2 goals, and then that would change everything. But uh, well, that game. There's a lot of issues. I don't know what's going on with United, to be honest with you. Is it the players themselves, or is it the manager, or is it the club as a whole? We as fans, I don't know, everyone back here in Malaysia, we just have to go through every game by game, with other supporters club from Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, keep bombarding us with all the text messages that we receive every time we're on phone.
Yeah, we get them too.
Turn your phone off, mate.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No. Turn the phone off when the other
turn
supporters.
So you don't get your text messages.
Yeah, when United lose, turn your phone off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you ask me if you ask me how am I feeling, I'm feeling nervous. Every time when United does the full online on the website, the app page, how are you feeling? Excited and so on. I always put there. I'm excited, confident, but this time I'm nervous. Seriously, every game that United plays now is all a nervous game. They don't seem to play like what they used to play. Like that the kind of like nice attacking flow. When they get the ball, they lose the ball, and then you say, "Oh my God, what's going to happen after this?" And with Bruno's situation now, I don't know. It's very disappointing to see Bruno's performance for the past few games. But I do hope that this game against Sunderland is it's a kickstart, not an on-off kickstart, but a kickstart to move on and to go on to the next big game against Liverpool on the 19th.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that Ruben's under pressure for this game. I think the fan base is. Look, let's call a spade a spade. The fan base has lost faith in him for sure. And look, I think Elliot, you weren't real confident whether he should stay as the manager or not last pod. I definitely want him to stay, but for me, he definitely needs to. People keep saying it's not the style of play and everything like that, but for mine, it is. Well, for mine, that's where it starts, playing players out of position. And I think that's the biggest problem we've got. And it used to happen with Eric Ten Hag. I just play. It's the same thing. Things have not. I don't believe things have gone forward at all. We never had the managers bounce or anything like that. I think Ruben's got to just start bringing
taking risks.
Taking risks. Yeah, it's exactly right, Elliot.
Look, I think he just needs to grow some balls and take some risks, differentiate from what he wants to do, and go after a game when you're behind. Go after a game. I'd rather see us go after a game and concede another goal and lose by maybe 2 or 3 goals, and try go after a game and make some make a different choice and substitution, then bring a defender or 2 on, and try and sort of shore up the game and continue with the style of play. I think the manager needs to certainly take a few more risks in his decision making, and just back. He just needs to back himself as well. Like and maybe that sounds a bit contradictory, but I just think he just needs to take risks and back himself when he does.
Definitely. Let me put your lineup up, your predicted lineup, Elliot. So this is Elliot's predicted lineup. I'll let him go through it.
Look, I just think it's as much as a wishful lineup as it is a predicted lineup. But I think he's probably not going to drop Bruno, but I'd like him to. I think that's the sort of thing that makes a statement, and that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about around taking risks. He probably won't do it, but I'd like to see him. Yeah, I'd like to see him play Manu, and I'd like to see him. And I'm manifesting that, to be honest. I'm manifesting that he's playing Manu. I've got my Manu shirt on, like up in the background. You can see there. I just want, if he plays Manu in with Bruno in the middle, if he plays Manu in with Casemiro, I just want to see him play. I don't think we've got anything to lose, to be honest. I think the other probably thing to note is, bring Yoro back in at that right-sided centre back. Sunderland do attack from the wing. They've got quite quick. They whip the ball in. We need to close that that outlet down of balls coming into the box. And I think Yoro has and does do a better job than I guess than Delit did last week in that position. So I think Delit slides back into the middle of that back three, and Yoro plays that right centre back role. Probably the other thing, Dallo, I would his performance is just warranted him being dropped for this game. And I believe Ahmad is sort of still 50-50 on being back, but I think if Ahmad's back, he should be playing him at right wing back.
Ahmad was at training all week, so
okay.
He's back.
Good. Good. Yeah,
he would definitely start.
I think he starts, but he needs to start him at right wing back. Like we don't change that front three. That front three needs to play more and more together. The more and more they play together, the more confident they'll get. And I think we'll start converting those high chances on goal that we seem to be getting sort of each week. I think if we convert more of those chances, we're probably a different position on the ladder. But yeah, that's sort of it's 50-50 probably who I think will play, but also there's a bit of wishful thinking in maybe Manu starting. But, I think manager's track record probably is again, we'll say, he'll probably play Bruno and Casemiro in there, or Bruno and Agate.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping,
look, I'm going to put Yanni's question up, and I'll answer this for him. Who's your captain there? I really love, but mind you, Elliot, I really love that side. I reckon that is a top lineup. That I would definitely, and Yanni's actually said Delit would be his captain, and I would 100% agree with him. I would 100% agree with Delit. He has been absolutely outstanding. He's been such a great great player for United at the start of this
Yeah,
season, and I believe he does lead the way.
yeah. I'd give it. I mean, and to be honest, the only game where he probably played a questionably, probably not too well, is because he was moved from the position that he's been playing well in all
Yeah.
season to the right centre back
Exactly.
to play Maguire in that middle position. I do think I would give it to Delit. Probably the other thing I didn't point out, Adam, as well, is that I have put the new goalkeeper in to start the game. There was too many blunders from Bayende, even though he did make some good saves, and it might be those good saves that Amorim remembers and uses that as a justifiable reason to still play Bayende. But I think this is a game that you bring Lemens in. It's one game, and then we're off for 10 days for the international break. Bring him in. I think this is the right game and time to bring him in and start him. I think he's been training well. From all accounts, I've been sort of reading some good things around Tom Heaton and how Lemens has been training. Let's start him.
What do you think, Stefan?
Yeah. Okay. Elliot's lineup is something that I had in mind. It's the same, but I agree with Elliot that it's. I would love to have Mino on the first 11. Uh, but if he's gonna remain Bruno as his captain and the main player of the team, I would have Mino together with. Mino together with Bruno and remove Ugati out from the team for the first 11. But other than that, I agree to have Lamens in goal against against Sunderland, which is a team that I think he can prove that he can play in the English league. I mean, it's high time to swap the keeper for a while to see how he performs, because we don't have, as you were mentioning, we don't have the Carabao Cup. We are out of it. FA Cup comes in January, so this is the time. This is the game to for Lemons to prove himself that he is a Premier League player. As for the defense, 110% agree with Elliot to have Delete back in the central with Euro, and well, Shaw is a questionable part of it, but yeah, we don't have a choice because we don't have Martinez back. Probably, I think he's coming back. I think maybe by end of October if everything goes well. He should be playing back in November. So yeah, we have to give him time for that, and hopefully he'll be fully fit by January come. So yeah, other than that, the front three should remain. They should be playing together, and I think we should take more opportunities to fit the ball to Sesko, because you know it's been a long time since we had a very 6 foot over striker right in front. You know, there's a lot of issues recently. If you look, what seems to be a problem with United on the strike force, because our players who are on loan are performing well. In Serie A and in La Liga, even in La Liga with Rashford is performing there. Hoyland is performing well with Napoli. So this is a time that we have Cunha back in the first 11 together with Mbomo together left and right. The two number 10s at the back. Sesko in front. Fit him the balls. I mean, take the opportunity during the corner kicks, the free kicks. Take that opportunity to pass it to him, and not to do on an individual skill too much of it. To dribble. I know all these players. They want to prove to the manager. They want to prove to the club that they are capable to be good players in United. I mean, no doubt they are all good players, but you have to be unselfishly, pass the ball. You have a striker who is capable of scoring one goal. If we look back at Sesko's previous goal in his previous club, it's all unbelievable, seriously. But what happens when he comes into United? I mean, there's a lot of questions being thrown to him. Do you think this is the right club for you? This all negativity stuff. I mean, it was good when he scored his first goal last week, and I hope that's more goals to come. From Sesko, we need the goals, and we need to plug that hole in the defense. To stop goals going in. And I think Lemon should come in as a goalkeeper, and the defense should be tied up. Back to the formation itself. I think formation issue of playing three at the back, it's been ongoing. Everyone says Ruben is so stubborn, he doesn't want to change his formation to the back four, whatever. Well, we can say as fans, we can say that, but it's up to him whether he wants to play the back three. But you look at Brighton. I mean, Crystal Palace. They are playing with the back three. Why is it working with them? So that's a question. Is it the players? Is it the manager? What's the cause of it that we are not good in the back three? I don't know, Elliot or maybe Adam. You have your point on that. I mean,
Sorry, I just
what?
had a mosquito.
No worries. I don't know. What you guys? What do you think about
Yeah,
having a
I
back three at the
watched.
back?
I spoke about this last week. I actually watched the Crystal Palace Liverpool game, and to watch Crystal Palace actually play the same system as us, it's chalk and cheese. It is chalk. It's ridiculous. The Crystal Palace fitness levels for starters looks way better than ours. Uh, each player is fighting for the ball. Each player just fights for the ball. They lose that ball, they want it back. It's like the old Barcelona. They used to have a rule whereas you lost the ball, you had to get it back within 3 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds. And I was what Crystal Palace. They're just hungry to win. They're hungry to prove themselves. I just think Manchester United lack so much confidence. It's chalk and cheese. Geez, I'm glad we don't have to play what do you call it, Palace soon because holy crap. I think it could be a long day for us if we don't sort our stuff out quick. I just what do you call it? I've got Tommy. He's gone. I'll bring it up, and he makes a great point here because I actually spoke about Aiden Heaven to someone the other day. Forgotten man, Aiden Heaven. Really thought he'd be used this season, given how good he was last year. Now he's a young fella here that's got plenty of pace, and that's something we really lack in the backs without Euro. And I totally agree. Aiden Heaven needs to be used more. And as a young fella, actually, you know what? You know what I heard today, and I've been watching a lot of the youth, and I actually was thinking about this myself. So the first team actually play a different system to the youth players, the youth teams, which is absolutely ridiculous. So when back in the day, every team used to play the same system. So if you're bringing players up from the 18s or reserves or whatever, they're lost straight away because they don't even understand the system. So this is a big problem we've got at United. Everyone really needs to be playing this Amorim system if they're going to be coming into that squad.
I mean, Aiden Heaven was like he was a surprise to me last season, but he played really well, didn't he? Until he had that injury, and then I think he came back maybe with 2 or 3 games to go in the season. But would you like him? Would you like him in front of Shaw at the moment because Lich is injured? Maybe he's fit. He's probably going to be fitter. He's younger. Yeah, he's probably a bit more He's more defensive minded, which is probably going to help because I do see Shaw drifting forward still a little bit more with that, I guess, attacking mindset that he's got from being a fullback most of the time. I think, Tom makes a really good point there because I think, he'll be like, again, what have we got to lose at the moment? The manager seems to be changing his team quite a lot, He's not included him as a substitution yet. Like he's not brought him on, I don't think, in a game yet. Why not? He was great for us last year.
Yeah, look, I've got one here from Rob Taff. He's good. He said I'd start with Heaven, delete Euro, wingbacks Dorgu, Ahmed, but I bet he picks a lot. Oh, mate, he loves his Portuguese boys, and I'm sure he will.
If he picks a lot, does that mean that Ahmed doesn't start?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Because I think Ahmed he doesn't do a bad job as like an inverted right wing back because he's left-footed. I do think that when he plays there, that Embremo and Ahmad's role sometimes gets a bit confused, and I think probably, and I do think, even though I think Ahmed is the right person to play in that position at the moment while Mazraoui isn't fit, I do think where we get caught out in our system versus Crystal Palace compared us to play a very similar system is that if we play, let's say, Ahmad and Dorgo in that system, they're very attacking-minded players. Now, I think it's Munoz and Tyrell Mitchell who play that wing-back position. They're very much up and down fit players, like you mentioned, Adam, but they're also, good defensively as well. And I've not seen too much from Dorgu defensively. And Ahmad, certainly, he hasn't grown up as a wing back. He's definitely more of a winger. So there's definitely a lack of defensive attributes from the wing backs in the system if we played. If we do start Ahmed and Dorgu.
Yeah.
But the question is another thing is that, I mean, sorry, Adam.
No, you go for it, mate.
Everyone's asking, where's Leon? We signed him up, and then I don't know. I've been missing him. He hasn't been playing and not even a sub bench, anything like that. So I think it's high time that players that you sign up during the summer to start bringing them in. Especially during the second half, anything like that. But I don't know. It's where that's a question. Where are these players that you sign up? Where is Obi?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all playing in the youth team, but some of them, I think it's high time to just push them up to the first team, and then see how it goes.
It's hard, Safwan, right? Because we're so used to playing midweek football, where Leon's probably the type of player who's going to get minutes in a Europa League game. Probably start games in the Europa League. You see, even it has seemed to be our track record in the past is that academy players do get introduced into the senior team through a Europa League game or through a cup game during the week, but just that lack of game time, or that not lack of game time, sorry, the lack of fixtures for us this year does hamper game time for players that you are mentioning, where in a normal season for us last year, you see those players get introduced during European games or during cup games and things like that. And, and that's where we saw, Cobby grow, for example, and even, Cheeto a little bit last year. Aiden Haven he played a lot during the Europa League for us last year as well, and he was able to grow a bit. We're just not, unfortunately, I just can't see us seeing that growth this year, and the manager's not going to play them without having, I guess, those friendlies, Adam. Could be a good opportunity to see those types of players integrated and maybe show the manager sort of their worth a bit more on the field rather than just at training. And I do think that those extra fixtures will, help the manager a bit more with knowing who his best team is every week, because we can't be changing players week on week. I'd like to think that as we're going into Christmas, we are playing a very similar 11, because we're hopefully, in an ideal world, consistently getting good results. Hopefully.
100% agree, Elliot. Look, you took the words right out of my mouth about those friendlies in Saudi Arabia. One thing I do know that United will have a few friendlies while the international break's on, because I know Mark, last time he was over there while the break was on, there were friendlies at Carrington going on, all behind closed doors. So Amorim will have games ready to go, if not against the reserves or anything like that, just to get the system right. It will be against another team. But yeah, we need to get some game time into these younger legs that are around, and it's a massive problem at the moment. It's hard to actually get your head around it. One person we haven't spoken about is Tyrone Malacia. He's back. So he's back after 250 days out with an injury. So he's been back at training with the United team. People were saying, does he get straight back in? Mate, he won't play a game. He will not play a game. He's there just keeping his fitness up till Amorim can move him on.
We seem to be very, very, very overloaded in the fullback position at the moment. don't we?
Yeah.
You know, if you put Shaw in there, you've almost got 4 left backs if you include Diego Leon as well. I understand why he's integrated him back in the team, and you never know. We've seen stranger things happen, right? But yeah, I guess he's the only one who we couldn't get rid of, who we wanted to get rid of.
Yeah, look, I don't want to. I wanted to try and stay a bit positive with this podcast today, because I did spit the dummy a little bit last pod, as most people would have seen our shorts, because I was look. It's tough being a United supporter I'm 50, like 45 plus years that I can remember. And I have been through those hard times through the 80s, but probably not understand it because I was so young. So when you see a club that you idolise, and I do idolise the club, most of us do idolise this club. It's our theatre of dreams, This is why we have rooms like this. We have behind you, Safwan, Elliot, you're the same. We idolise this club. We wish we could go to every game, but we live so far away. But what I was impressed about this week was Wayne Rooney. I tell you, I know I'm going away from the game a bit, but I want to bring it to people's attention. If you listen to Wayne Rooney on Rio's podcast, or even on his own, I really love when Wayne Rooney speaks. I really feel he does give the truth. And not only that, he's got a son that's actually playing at the club. So he's actually risking everything for his son to get dropped from that club, if you want to be a bit political about it. Because I know for myself, if I spoke about a coach or somebody that works at the club or something like that here in Australia, while my kids were playing rep football, my kids would be out in the next door. And so I just want to read you what Wayne said. He said, "They look lost. They look scared. Bruno Fernandes is the one who keeps producing. They need massive changes to the squad. There is a culture at the club where it's too easy to lose games. What I'm seeing at the club is not Manchester United." Rooney stressed that the owners need to send a clear message and that changes may be needed in the managerial position or players to restore the club's identity. Now, I will say Wayne does support Ruben Amorim. He doesn't want him out. He wants to see him succeed. So, look, it must be tough for Wayne, being that he played there for so long. And, I really believe if Ruben wants to make this successful, here's a question for you, does he need Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, or one of those boys in the dressing room, not to towel up the players or anything like that, just to be around it? Now, this is where I always thought Ruud van Nistelrooy should have been still at the club when Ruud was appointed. I thought it was so bad that Ruben Amorim didn't want him. I just think when you've got someone there with so much experience and so much culture knowledge, he should have been really around the players when he came in.
It's an interesting point you make, Adam, because I think it's too late for him to make an appointment or a decision like that, in my opinion. I was listening to, I guess, an interview with Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, and Paul Merson. Actually, I think it was on. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a reputable podcast, and I think it just makes him look weak if he now makes an appointment like that. Because, if you look at clubs like, well, let's go back to Fergie's era, and I'll echo sort of what Paul Scholes sort of mentioned. You'll go back to Fergie's era. He's always had a big stature number 2 next to him. Steve McLaren, Brian Kidd, Rennie Molliston, right? You could always see them in the background, close to him in his ear when you're watching a game. You look at teams now, Arteta, he's got a number 2 there who's always in his ear. Can't remember the guy's name. Even you look at Eddie Howe, there's that big bloke that's always next to him. He's got a number 2 there who is supporting him and is obvious and would obviously be backing him and having those. I guess those sometimes your assistant manager has those revved up conversations more than your manager does. Because when your manager needs to in the dressing room, you get more clout around that type of conversation, right? Who's Amorim got next to him? There's no one next to him. Like when you look at Amorim on the field,
it looks like he's with all his relos, doesn't it?
He's either pacing back and forth. There's no one there next to him, like giving him instruction or giving him some guidance and stuff on what they see that maybe he can't. Or if he is sitting on the bench, he's got his head in his hands. So there's no like big stature next to him that can really support him. And I do think, although I do agree, maybe he needs someone from, that's got some history with the club that knows it well, knows it better than him, that can support him. I think he had the chance to have someone like that when Ruud was still there and wanted to stay at the club after Amorim appointed, but Amorim let him go. That was his chance to do that. If he makes that decision now, it makes him look weak, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you boys agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that a bit. I mean, it should have been from the start, not after, mid. I mean, it's really coming up to his. If you started from mid of the season last year and then to this year, it's coming up to a 1 year cycle. So he should have done way much earlier than that. It's the same thing when we go back to when Moyes came in after Fergie retired. People were saying that Moyes should have maintained the backroom staff with him in a transition. Because he had the team of champions at the time, and when he took off everyone out from the backroom staff, he had his own backroom staff, and look what happened. I mean, it's the same process where I believe that Ruud was doing a good job, on an interim basis, but she should be maintained as one of the backroom staff, and then the transition goes on until at least for a season. Get to know the club's DNA, and that's what we always say, the DNA of United. I understand that some people said we have to move on from Sir Alex Ferguson's era. I mean, that's a past, but yeah, but remember this, people start to compare that when Fergie took over the club back in '86, he wasn't doing well as well. Yes, I agree on that. But remember, at that time, United wasn't doing well at all. So Fergie has already structured the club to be there, to be a very stable front runner for every single tournament, for cup competitions, for the league. And I don't know. I believe the downfall of everything all for United started when Moyes took over, and then we didn't have the consistency with the manager. I mean, we keep on changing the managers. I mean, I agree. I would agree with Rooney that I'll stick with Amorim, for now, because we don't want to be a club changing managers like changing our clothes daily. So till when are we going to get that stability? So it's back. Yeah.
I was just going to say, look, I believe Ruben Amorim's the right manager. I think he's a good manager for that. I think tactically he's got it right. No, look, he's only really just had one window, but I just think he needs to make a change within himself. You know what I mean? Not to satisfy the fans, but just to satisfy himself, get a few wins under his belt, prove to himself that he doesn't need to just play the one tactical system, or however you want to say it. I just think you need to be able to adapt. If you can't adapt in the Premier League, you're going to find yourself walking. And I'm afraid that's the way it is these days. Look, it took me a long time to realize this. But if you can't adapt to the Premier League and have 2 or 3 systems under your belt, even players need to be able to play a few different positions. But, when you've got players like Bruno Fernandes that is attacking minded, and all you want to do is play him defensively and drive him forward. Mate, for mine last weekend, he looked ruined, Bruno. I've never seen him look like that as a character. He looked ruined. Whether the stress is really getting to him now and things like that, and like having players around the dressing room. Yanni was saying we've got Darren Fletcher there, but Darren Fletcher's there now coaching the under-18s. He wouldn't be around the dressing room much now, but he's been there for the past 3 years, and really nothing's changed for the past 3 years. Michael Carrick's free at the moment. Why not get him back in?
But my question is, Darren Fletcher is director of football, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
I think he was. I don't know if he is now though.
So he was director of football under Ten Hag's team, and now he's gone. Right. He's gone to coach the youth team and doing a great job as well. By the way,
definitely.
The youth team are getting some great results. Why was he? Was that another person that Amorim decided to actually remove from his staff? That was directly involved with the team. Directly involved with the team, because again, I think this might echo a bit more about the manager's stubbornness to want to do it on his own and to do it his way. So not want any influence from people who have been at the club before, people who might have a different idea on what sort of system maybe to play and things like that. Our manager seems to be quite stubborn in how he wants to potentially succeed and how he wants to go around the club, do things around the club. So he doesn't actually want the advice from ex-players. Like it doesn't seem like he wants that, I guess, I watched his interview with Owen Hargreaves actually before we played Brentford, and even like just how he answered questions in that interview with an ex-player, and Hargreaves was only at the club for maybe 2 or 3 years, but again, just that there's just a bit of a stubbornness about him, which might catch him out.
Yeah, sorry,
Adam. No, go, mate. Go. Yep.
Okay, because I've been looking for the past games. Ruben has been like, especially you look at the penalty when United has a penalty, he has this. I thought it was just a one-off that he was like, kind of like sitting down, looking at the sky, and then like doing nothing, and like there's no expression. And it has continued when Bruno was taking the other game. Against Brentford, a penalty, he had that same body language, a kind of expression, which I think it is not good as a manager to show to your players that you have that kind of character. You should be out, on your technical line, and to be much more aggressive on the touch line instead of just sitting down there. And I don't know, Bruno. I think it's high time if we're gonna have a next penalty in any other games. For crying out loud, I think we have to give to other players. We have Mbomo, we have Cunha, and even Sesko, who I think it's high time for them to come out and to change a penalty taker. Because if I don't know, this is my point of view that when the game that Bruno missed a penalty a few games back, which game was it? He said the referee kind of like interfered him, so he was distracted. And
it was in the draw, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Was it the draw? I think, yeah. And the recent one, with the injury with the Brentford player, it kind of distracted him as well when they took time of it before he could take the penalty. So I don't know whether does he have that same mindset of taking the penalty. He does that hop kind of thing, but the way he takes his penalty now, goalkeepers could easily just read where he's going. So I think it's high time that there should be other changes. Should be a new penalty taker. I think the pressure and burden should be taken off from Bruno. To be honest with you, I don't see any other leaders currently in United except for Bruno. I know some people would say you should have other players as a captain, but look, I don't see anyone. I mean, Maguire, when he was the captain of United, I mean, he wasn't a captain material. I'm sorry for to any Maguire fans out there, but I prefer him not to be a captain, and he plays better. But I mean, this season he's a bit slow to track back. So, but I don't see any players like Bruno does. You know, he is a captain, the captain that I see that will be a captain for the next couple of years if he does stay. But the question that's raised now was the Saudi transfer earlier of the season before the season start. Was that also a factor that is it currently interfering in his mindset in playing for United? I don't know. I mean, there's too much distraction on Bruno. You know, transfers to Saudi and with the manager being stubborn, like what Elliot's been saying. I don't know. That's just so many things that's ongoing with the club now. You know.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be getting better. Look, I think, look, you're never going to take the passion out of Bruno, and you're never going to take the passion out of Ruben Amorim. It's just their character. I was one of those players. I was a player where passion is everything, and as soon as you get that white line fever, nothing else matters. I even do it in our supporter club games whenever I play in that. No, you ask Tom. I just like white line fever. It's something. I know that I understand people say they're professional footballers, everything like that. For mine, I just think Bruno takes the captaincy to another level. I just think I'd rather him focus on his own game, and hampering his game is him playing deeper in a deeper role that I don't think he wants to play. I just don't see him enjoying himself on the pitch anymore. I just don't see that.
Yeah.
I made a good point. I think I made a good point the last pod where I said I want the Bruno back, and I'm the first to admit it. I used to question Bruno missing 7 out of 9 passes, but this is the Bruno we need back because Sesko's going to thrive off that player, and I really want Ruben to have a look at that. And
yeah, I mean,
look,
I think in that Sesko sort of type dilemma, I think, Cunha and Mbremo are certainly more attacking-minded players that are going to want to score themselves than, put that ball through to Sesko. I could see Bruno linking up with Sesko more. That's only going to happen more if he gets further forward. Otherwise, what you're going to find is the same problems that happened with Rasmus Højlund, where Sesko is going to come deep to try and find the ball. And that's why Højlund did not work out, because he wasn't getting a lot of the service that he needed to be able to thrive. A striker's only as good as the player that's assisting him behind him. And Bruno's the player that's going to give Sesko that service to thrive, in my opinion. But he's not going to give him that service if he's expected to be box to box.
No, I said that. I just don't think. I don't want to see Bruno playing box to box. I think. Look, it's such a tough one. It's just. I think. Look, all in all, I think when we're at Old Trafford, I think we always start off well. I think it comes down to we need to just take our chances. We do miss a lot. We've got a high shooting rate and stuff like that, whatever they call it these days. I just think we need to take our chances, 100%. Like, yeah, it worries me that if United go down by the first goal, will they come back? We haven't come back from a game since Ipswich. I think I was reading Ipswich late last year, so we haven't come back from a game from being behind. So that's freaking nuts. But look, I don't know. We can talk about the same stuff all the time, but yeah. Look, United's good. We're at Old Trafford. I'm confident we're going to win this game. I am so confident we're going to win this game. For mine, I think a 2-0 for me. We're at home. We're at Old Trafford. 2-0. As much as I want to play down the result and say Sunderland's going to win, I'm confident we're going to win 2-0. They're going to come out quick. I think they want to make up for last week. I'm convinced the players don't enjoy hearing all the crap that goes around. So at Old Trafford, I really hope I'm right in saying this. I'm confident we're that right. Elliot and I are going live on match day.
Yes, we
Because you
are.
don't want to see me on a match day, that's for sure, if we're losing.
Either. I'm
And
pretty
I
talkative
believe,
on the pod. I'm not talkative. I won't be. Will not be as talkative. I can tell you that. But something different, bit of fun. Something that a few people have been asking us to do. So, we'll see how much stick we get. I'm going for three. I'm going for a very similar type of game to the Burnley game, and we win 3-2.
What do you
still
reckon,
gonna give.
Saf?
I'm gonna. I don't know if Binder is in goal with the defense. Probably, I'm trying to go a bit more positive on 3-1. Probably the defense will still leak a goal in, but 3 goals for me. I hope Sasko will score in front of the Stratford end tomorrow. That's my biggest hope. I want Sasko to keep on continue scoring goals, even though it's a goal per game. So be it. I mean, I want him to score every single game. So that's a confidence from a striker that we need, and I believe it's Cunha is going to score as well tomorrow night. And well, it's either Mbomo or Bruno to score the third goal. So I think 3-1, 3-1's the score. And my man of the match, I'm going to straight if Bruno shows up tomorrow, probably the man of the match, or maybe if it's not him, then I would go with Sasko for man of the match tomorrow.
Yeah, mate, I hope so. I hope so. Look, we're three positive blokes here. And look, before we go, I want to touch on the women's side too. The women's side play Chelsea tomorrow at 4:30 in the morning kickoff. I definitely will be up for this game. Look, it's 1v2. Both teams are undefeated as well.
Yep.
So it's going to be a cracker game. Letizier's already came down and sledged Chelsea well and truly. She's confident that United can beat them. Look, we've only won once out of the past 3 against Chelsea. Chelsea are a quality side. And the 2 top goal scorers too are United and Chelsea at the moment. So it's a massive game tomorrow. Tomorrow 4:30 for us. You're a couple of hours behind, so it'll be 2:30 in Malaysia.
Yep.
Kickoff. So, but yeah, best of luck to our girls. They beat Liverpool last week, which
Yes.
was good. So a good 2-0 victory, and 2-0 probably wasn't the actual result. I think they could have won like 4 or 5 against Liverpool last week. So best of luck to the women. Also, we're talking about before they're in the Champions League. I think after this game, they've got the Champions League starting. So I know they're showing off that Champions League badge today, which is fantastic. So, we could lead into something else there. But good luck to the women.
Yeah, good luck to the girls. I think it'll be a real statement win if we beat Chelsea at home and go top of the table. I think, it's been building with the girls for the last couple of years, so it's good to see them sort of right at the top competing with Chelsea, who are consistently sort of the best team in the league, aren't they? So, super excited, and maybe the boys can follow suit.
Yeah, it's a good example about the ladies here. I mean, well, to be honest, I hope that they win the league, the ladies' league this year. I mean, they've been consistent in the top tier. I mean, for the past season. So let's hope our women's team will win the league, and then it kind of like push the guys. That if the ladies team can do it, why can't the guys do it this season? So to win the league, obviously it's still far, but I still believe that if we win tomorrow, we'll close the gap on the points, and then top 5 is within reach to end the season. I mean, let's cross the fingers, and then hopefully,
Love your positivity.
We win tomorrow.
Mate.
We go 2 points clear of Chelsea if we win tomorrow. So, look, you could go on about this women's side, mate, because every year they lose quality players. This women's side, but they always seem to bring players in that fit the system well, and they always seem to get a result. So congratulations to these girls. They're up against it, mate. People have got no idea what these girls, the money and everything like that. And you know what? Credit to them. They never let them get them down. They keep going. They keep pushing. And I enjoy watching the United women play. They're a fantastic side, and they've got some great character about them. So I'm looking forward to that game tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m. Elliot and I will be doing the match at midnight live. So if anyone wants to join us, we'll be there watching it live. If we're down, you'll see me going a bit spastic, but I'll try and keep myself calm through the game. So
we might do a quick halftime recap while we're catching our breath. Perhaps I think Yanni's going to be on too with us. Sounds like so. Be good to watch it. I've got a really close mate of mine who is a massive Mackem fan, and if we get beat, I am turning my phone off on Sunday because he will hound me. He's that type of guy. He's that type of guy. He will pester me, and I just want to be in a better mood for the Broncos game Sunday afternoon if we get beat tomorrow. So I will not be answering that guy's text messages for at least 48 hours. I'll be muting that chat.
Safwan, give your supporters club a plug, mate, and I'm sure you guys will be catching up because it's a good kickoff time for you guys, 10 o'clock.
Yep, 10 o'clock. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll be gathering for match viewing together. So, yeah, normally we will plan a week ahead before every game if the time is good and is on the right day. So, yeah, we'll be gathering tomorrow. And, yeah, I just text you and then maybe I could join you guys for the halftime talk tomorrow.
100%, mate.
100%,
Get on.
mate.
I'm setting up the link now, and I'll send you that link. So if you want to get a couple of the boys on, no problem.
Yep, sure. I will do that.
Whereabouts is the game on for you guys?
Say again?
Whereabouts is the game on? What bar is that?
Tomorrow we'll be at Nellis. Nellis is about 15 minutes away from my place, so it's actually like a bar kind of area. So what we're doing this year actually for our match viewing. So we've been hopping to places. So we the last Brentford game we went to it's like a food hall area, which they have two big screens. And then previously we were in a sports bar, so we kind of like go from places to places, and we are trying to gauge with our fans, our supporters club, to get more people to join us at the same time. And instead of sticking to one place, I mean, we would love to be in one place, but I think this season we try to accommodate to everyone because there are some places that with early kickoff they would love to bring their young kids to watch the game. So obviously you can bring them to a sports bar. So we have it in a family hall area, kind of like a eating place, like it's like a food court kind of area, but it's huge, it's high, and then with two big screens there. So yeah, we do what we do is in our group chat is that in the committee we will discuss, okay, what's the plan, which is the location, okay, we've locked this place, let's do a poll, how many people are coming, are they bringing friends, are they bringing any children along? So that's how we get the numbers. I mean, the last game we have, I mean, it wasn't that many, but we got a close about 25 fans from the supporters club game.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I think maybe one day Worldwide Reds might tour Malaysia. What do you reckon?
Yep, please do come. Let us know in advance when we catch up.
I was speaking to Belinda this afternoon. We went out on a date. Belinda and I had a date this afternoon for a feed, and I said to her, "We're going to have to make another trip to Malaysia next year, I think." So, all right, let's close it there because I don't want Safwan's cough there doesn't look good. He might need a cup of water or something like that to bring him back. So, Thank you, Safwan, for coming on. Thank you, Elliot, for coming on again. Absolute. I love talking United, Worldwide Reds. Remember, people, like, share, subscribe. Get out there. Give us another sub. We're hoping to hit the 250 by the end of the long weekend. So please get on there. It means everything to us. We enjoy talking to people like Safwan from Malaysia, and I'm sure we'll get more of the KL Mancunians on. So I'll talk to you later. See you later. Check yous.